am all for house meetings, that's for sure. Prior to 1976, I had been institutionalized for many years. I served as minister for a number of churches in Connecticut, Missouri, 2 different times, Ohio. In 1976, after doing some extensive self-study, I decided that the institutional establishment, which I was a part of for decades, is not what Jesus set in motion. I made that decision just by doing some self-study. So since 1976 then, I have been advocating a lot of reformation in all of the people I have come to know, as well as the churches. Sometimes I get some backtracking, of course, from those who are still married to the institutional church. But really since 1976, and then in 1985 I decided to publish my journal, my monthly journal called Reformation Rumbling, and I did that for years, going out to hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, that was somewhat costly, postage-wise, because I really wasn't getting very much financial help from those who received my journal. But that didn't make any difference to me. As long as they received it and digested it, that was all I was interested in. So my children then, around 1998 or 99, they finally convinced me to buy a computer, get on the internet, write your column, send it out to as many people as you want to worldwide, and it won't cost you a penny. Well, now that sounded good to me, because I was spending quite a bit of money mailing my publication each month. So it took me a while to educate myself as to the technology of the internet and the computer, but I finally did it. So I'm doing it even today. I started sending my column out on the computer, and I've had real good success since then. I have hundreds of people in America, across the country, who receive my weekly column, and then I have quite a few foreign people, Christians, who receive it as well. So that pretty well brings me up to date. So currently, right at the moment, I'm still doing my Reformation Rumblings, and it's my basic ministry. I had to curtail quite a lot of my activities because of my arthritis. I have a bad case of arthritis in the lower part of my back. And because of that, it just isn't easy for me to get around anymore. And that's why that basically overall my ministry is confined to the internet. You'd be surprised how much success I have had with that ministry. And I've written 3 books, each one 96 pages in length. I don't know why I got hung up on 96 pages, but I wanted it to be less than 100. All 3 of them, 96 pages. My first book was entitled Mad Church Disease.
Oh, I just ordered that from John Zenz.
That's good that he's sending that to you.
Yeah.
And then my other 2 books, one of them consisted of a dialogue with another brother and me. And both of us are authors of that. I'll give you a copy of it before you leave.
Okay, great.
And then my best book that I have written and published is the son of perdition, and it involves Roman Catholicism in detail.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research in doing that book. So that pretty well brings me up to date now. And like I said, my basic ministry today is on the internet, and by using that method of technology, I'm able to reach the hearts and the minds of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
When I lived in Cherokee, Iowa, that's where I lived and retired before coming to Phoenix, I had a weekly home study for a long, long time. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it very much. Listen, a person gets more out of a home study than if they are sitting in a pew somewhere in a church for 10 years. He's not going to get the edification and the spiritual strength from there as he would get in a home study.
Yeah. I get a sense that people are just like really afraid sometimes of what's going on in the world.
Jonathan, we are living in peculiar times today. That's the way I'll describe it, peculiar times. It doesn't worry me because these things are happening in the world, and even worse things are going to happen before long, I'm sure. But I try not to worry about those things because there's one thing that we both know. The Lord is in control. He is in complete charge, and things are going to work out. My children and I were discussing this the other day, and we all agreed that, look, since the beginning of time, the Lord has placed in control those who want to lead a nation and a country. In the book of Daniel is very clear in that. And then in a book of Acts, the Apostle Paul related to that too, that God is going to put in charge those he wants to have in charge. God is going to control. We may not see it as clearly as it is, but God is in control and he's in charge. And this is why, if I might add this, and this is why the political system turned out the way it did in our recent election. So the whole thing is, regardless of the nature of what's happened in the world today, we can always rest assured that God is in control, and he will always be in control.